everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Tara with Mayhem Crafty Cards. In today's video, I am participating in the Case the Creator Hop. So I decided to case Amanda Stevens, who is also Pear Blossom Press on YouTube. She did this super cute tunnel card using the Caffeinated Octopus from Rabbit Hole Designs. And of course I have that stamp, so I'm going to use that guide today and do little modifications. But I wanted to show you how she set up the tunnel card. So she took her largest die, her largest circle die, and these are the nesting circle dies from Hero Arts. Her medium and then a smaller die. So what she did was she placed them all down. She got rid of the biggest die, got rid of the smallest die, and use the medium-sized circle. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to show you how I cut that too. So when you cut this, you want to make sure that you open your card completely up, and you only want to cut out that very front panel. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that, and I'll be right back. So now that we have that cut, I can go ahead and then remove it from my cardstock, and then I'm going to grab that smallest circle die and I'm going to cut out the other window, and I'm going to do it the exact same way. So you want to make sure that when you fold your card back up, you line up that smallest die. Try to get it as, you know, even as you can. Mine don't always come out even. So now that I have it where I want it, I'm going to go ahead and tape it again and run this through my die cutting machine. Again, you want to make sure that you open your card up all the way. So I'm going to cut this and I'll be right back. Okay, so now you have your tunnel card. So what I like to do too is save this smaller circle, because we're going to create a mask with the largest die. And how I got my card was I took a piece of 12 by 12 cardstock, I cut it in half at 6, and then I cut another piece of cardstock at 6.5 and scored it at the 1/2 inch mark, and then I went ahead and glued that to the back of the middle section of the card. So that gives me my tunnel card. And as you can see, like, it's not like perfect, which I didn't expect it to be, which is okay. There is one more piece to cut, and that's going to be our mask. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this largest die cut, this largest circle, and I'm going to go ahead and cut that out of a piece of masking paper. I just use removable sticker paper. I need to pick up some masking paper, like actual masking paper, but the removable sticker paper works just fine. I try to, you know, stick it to my leg or, you know, my shirt or something to remove some of the stickiness. So we're going to get that cut, and then we're going to do some masking. Well, it's a masking gun. Okay, so to save some time, I went ahead and put my mask down, and what I did was just line up that middle circle, I'm sorry, the smallest circle into the middle as best as I could. And then what I'm going to do is take some white pigment ink, and I'm going to go through the inside of this card. And what it's going to do is going to soften up all my layers of color blending that I'm going to do. So I just take it and go all the way around the edges of my masking paper. And like I said, this will help soften it. It'll give a nice smooth blend. I just like using the white pigment for stuff like this, like making the water background, and I'll make sure that I have everything that I use linked below in the description box, because I'm bound to forget some things. And this is just the pigment ink that I use is the Brutus Monroe Alabaster, and I love this. So I'm going to go ahead and go in with some of the Distress Oxide in broken china. It's right on the front of the package. And I'm just taking some of these cheap Amazon brushes and go ahead. I'm going to start on the outside and then work my way in. But I like these because, you know, using the distressed oxides much better than the distressed ink. And you want to be careful, and I've already done it, is not to go on the outsides of your mask because it's going to show on your card. So luckily, I think I can cover that up. So I'm just going to take it, you know, part way up. And I'm probably going to go over this one more time just to give it a nice smooth blend. But then I'm going to go in with Lawn Fawn, not Minty Fresh, Mermaid and Merman, just to give it a little bit of a green tint to it. So again, I'm just going in with those same, you know, blending brushes. And I'm just going to lighten the area just a little bit. And these ones I can just go right in on because they, I already put that white pigmenting down. In the middle, I don't really want blended a whole lot because it's going to look, you know, a little bit more like an ocean scene. So I'm just going to take a little bit in there, and I'm not really going to overblend it. So then I'm going to go with Merman. Yeah, Merman. Again, I'm just going to go along the tops here and, you know, slightly bring it down to the center. And the thing with Lawn Fawn inks is you have to let them sit for a minute to see like their full color, which is fine because the pigment ink's going to take a little bit to dry anyways. It's not like, you know, a regular ink. So I'm going to go back in again with that broken china and just kind of darken it up just a little bit more down towards the bottom and slightly around the sides because I want these colors to all blend in together. And the nice thing with that pigment ink is it just kind of makes it a more smoother blend. So this would be the part where if you wanted to add the water droplets to it, you could, but you want to make sure that you take off your masking paper because it will stick and it will rip your paper. So I'm going to try to unveil this now without ripping my paper. This is always the best part. Now see, I did get a little bit there, but that's okay. So that is going to be the background to our scene. And it's okay if this rips. I mean, this is not anything super special. Like I said, it's just that removable sticker paper, and it works, I mean, just like a mask. So now what I'm going to do is I kind of already tried to line this up once, and this is the sentiment, and it says, "Caffeine keeps me cracking." And I love it. I love all the rabbit hole caffeinated critters. I have quite a few. So I'm going to try to stamp this before I glue everything down. Cannot guarantee it's going to stamp right because I'm so used to using my Misty. So I'm going to take that same broken china and I'm going to go ahead and try to stamp this. And I want it to come around this curve a little bit. Not perfect, but that's okay. Nothing has to be perfect. That's the best thing about making cards, especially handmade cards. Nobody expects perfection. Nobody's going to be like, oh, well, she didn't stamp it all the way. So I'm going to, I did save some time by go ahead and coloring and cutting out my critters. Now, I did watercolor this. She used alcohol markers in hers. I'm still working with alcohol markers. So watercoloring to me came a lot easier. So I just used one shade of orange, believe it or not, to do my octopus. And I just built up my color for the shading. So, and then I also went ahead and made, now she used a hillside die. I didn't have one of those. So I used my Cricut. And I found this really cute little kind of beach, little hill, I guess, on my Cricut. And a lot of my things that I did cut out, like the plants and little coral, I used my Cricut for because I did not have those die cuts. So I was pretty proud of myself that I actually used my Cricut to do something other than, you know, cut vinyl. And I also cut out my little bubbles. Now obviously I'm not going to use all these, but it's nice to have extras. Now I don't have to go back in and fiddle around and try to find, you know, those shapes that I used before, cut and slice and everything else. So I'm going to go ahead and start putting this together, and I will be back with you guys. So before I get to gluing everything, you know, tacking it down, I do want to place the little mound. I do want to place my octopus on that mound. And I did try to add the blue around the octopus because for some reason my Scan and Cut cut out a huge border on this stamp. So in the octopus I am going to pop up a little bit. Everything else is going to be glued flat to the card. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with this, and then I will, I'll be back. Okay, so here we are. I added some bubbles, and I'm going to be adding the coffee grounds to, or the coffee molecule to this as well. But I just want to jump in here real quick and give you guys a little preview of what I've been doing. Don't worry about these parts either, because I'm going to try to take an eraser and try to get rid of those. So I'm going to go ahead and finish putting this card together. My husband and my son are getting ready to mow, so it's probably going to be extremely loud. My dogs are going nuts because they can hear him out in the garage. So I may go ahead and do a voiceover for the next part. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and finish stamping the molecule. And I just added a couple little things to the outside of it, and then added a few to the inside of the oh my gosh, use your words, Tara. The octopus. So now I'm going to go ahead and try to stamp this molecule. Hopefully I'll get a good impression because, again, I'm not using my Misty, but this is the coffee molecule. Oh, we got it. That never happens. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope I made Amanda proud by casing her tunnel card. And make sure you go check out her channel as well. I will make sure I link it in the description box below. I want to thank you guys so much for taking the time out and watching and subscribing. It's truly appreciated. So if you do like this video, go ahead and subscribe, and make sure you check everybody else out. Now, it's a different kind of hop because we're putting our creators' links in our the description box. So make sure you hop on to everybody else. So yeah, that's it. Have a great week, guys. Bye.